Believe it or not, flywheels are still widely used in many applications and fields, from NASA space missions to automotive, transportation, solar power plants as a main energy storage. Now, whenever you want to use battery versus flywheel, it's a huge debate. There are pros and cons on both sides. I can spend days talking about it. That's not the point of my video. However, the flywheel I'm talking about can reach efficiencies well over 90%. Yes, some people claim more. I'm a little bit skeptical about it. However, 90% for a flywheel, it sounds and look very reasonable. But no, the flywheel I'm talking about, it's not what you think it is. No, it's not this one. This is so last century. The flywheel I'm talking about, it looks like this. Now, for a flywheel to reach 90% efficiencies, got to have some serious characteristics. One of them is that, as you can see, it's closed in a vacuum chamber. Vacuum chamber, that's what you need to minimize the energy loss from the air drag. Imagine like such a big mass spinning 30, 40, 60 RPMs. There is a lot of energy loss. So you want to put this machine under a vacuum chamber. The second characteristic comes from the bearings. As you can see, there are no ball bearings. Oh hell yes, no ball bearings, no bearings in general, especially ball bearings. Ball bearings are the least efficient of all the bearings. Anyway, this is a magnetically suspended device. Once again, this is to minimize the energy loss in the system. Another characteristic, as you can see, is that there is no generator. The motor is the generator itself. Yes, once again, the motor is the generator itself. You don't want to have two different devices into the system. You don't want to have a motor and a generator, because by adding a power factor, you end up just with more and more energy loss. So the next one is the flywheel itself. And it's not made out of one single piece of metal, particular steel. Yeah, obviously, it's an alloy. This is to, once again, guarantee that you don't have energy loss from vibrations, which is one of the most important factors of a flywheel. So all these characteristics just to reach 90% efficiencies. So no pulleys, no belt, no bearings, no motor, only one single device. Vacuum chamber just to minimize the air drag. So all of these to reach merely 90%. Is this a free energy machine? Not even close. This is a perpetual motion machine? Not even close. But once again, this flywheel free energy generator video on YouTube has been perpetrated for so long. That's obvious to make money. There is not even close to be free energy, but let's go take a look at the famous video. free energy generator. Once again, Middle Eastern countries uses internet and YouTube as a main platform for generating lots of income through scamming. Scam, scam, scam. Today we're gonna replicate the experiment and make it a little bit smaller, slightly more efficient than this free energy scam. We're gonna take a look at the energy loss and why this system will never, never, never work. Let's do it.
Well. Our goal today, it's not really making a free energy generator, and neither probably a perpetual motion machine. What we're gonna do today is probably take this machine, as seen on YouTube, and strip it down from all the energy losses we have in this system, including belts, pulleys, bearings, and anything related to the flywheel. We're gonna shrink it and make it again, once again, more efficient. And it's gonna look like something like this. Now, it's a very simple machine everyone can build, and just like in the video, it's made out of a motor, a generator, and a flywheel. Now, as you can see, there are no, as I mentioned before, no pulleys, no belts, and anything like that. This is a direct drive. So we got a motor on the bottom and generator on top. Still a flywheel and everything. To mention that the motor and generator share exactly the same specifications. So it's actually no more than a 3 volts DC motor that's supposed to run on two AA's. So yeah, as you said before, 3 volts, and once again, this machine, it's not a highly efficient machine by any means. You can tell from the flywheel itself, this is not a vacuum chamber, fortunately, otherwise I won't be able to breathe. And the shape of the flywheel itself definitely sucks. In a minute, that the angle of attack here, flat, and doesn't really match our standards. And I gotta put some weight balancing system here, because once again, vibrations are one of the main causes of energy loss. You gotta drill a couple of holes here for the air drag. Once again, this is not a vacuum chamber, and here it really creates a major energy loss in the system. So overall, not bad at all. Still quite more efficient than the one I've seen on YouTube. Now, if our system is capable of retaining the all kinetic energy in the flywheel, for instance, by applying 3 volts to the motor, we must have 3 volts as an output. So now we're gonna flip the switch and let's make some observations. Now, before I turn on the machine, I would like to remember again, everyone, that we are still on planet Earth and we suddenly have gravity. What does gravity do on this machine? Well, quite a lot of, once again, energy loss. In a minute, all the mass you see, not just the flywheel itself, the whole system is actually pushing downwards. So probably it's gonna put some, the load bearing is actually gonna be our motor that takes most of the weight, so on the bearings. So definitely energy loss. But after saying that, let's crank it up, give it some juice. 2 volts, 3 volts, there we go. We got up to 3 volts. There are no tricks or anything. The motor, it's not starting, nothing moves. It's actually drawing some amps here, 130 milliamps times 3.2 volts. So there is some kind of some energy getting lost here. Where is this energy getting lost? The first energy loss in the system. I'll tell you what, it's the motor. It's getting a little bit warm. So all this energy lost without computing any work is actually lost in a form of heat. Our motor is heating up. And if you're wondering why we have this energy loss, it's simply because by running a motor without a load, it's very simple. But when you apply a load to our system, suddenly you have energy loss. So in order to break the static friction of this big mass requires quite a lot of energy. and suddenly all this energy gets lost in a form of heat. Now we need to overdrive the system at this point. 5, 6, 7, oh, almost there. 9 volts, so 9 is fine, okay. Beautiful. At this point we are overdrawing 350 milliamps. Finally our flywheel starts spinning. It will reach for the terminal velocity and our amps is gonna drop, as you can see, until it will fully stabilize at full speed. 290, 280, 270 milliamps. Now, honestly, guys, this machine, I have to recognize it's extremely quiet, very quiet, even though this big flywheel is spinning quite fast. And I'm really surprised, honestly, for the efficiency of this machine. You can tell there is plenty of vibrations, but still pretty quiet, so very, very surprising. 250 milliamps. I think it's kind of settled down to 250 milliamps over 9.2 volts. So now we can definitely check our output. What do you think? So our output, it's about 3.5 volts. We have a big energy loss, not what expected. 3.5, so a third of the power we getting back, so we lost 2/3 of the power. Power factor of suddenly 0.3. 0.3 as a power factor is very, very, very low. Even though this machine is definitely more efficient than the one we saw on YouTube, we're still wasting a lot of energy once again. Power factor of 0.3, it's very, very disappointing. And yeah, once again, the motor is kind of a little bit warm, not too bad. And yeah, I mean, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and yes, in less than 20 seconds this flywheel comes at a full stop. And that's because we're not applying actually any load on our generator, because if you have to apply a load, as we said before, this flywheel, it will stop even quicker. And yes, once again, energy loss, energy loss, energy loss. This is something that everyone pretty much can do, and yeah, very disappointing.
Free energy flywheel. Yes, it doesn't really matter how you build this machine by putting the flywheel left, right, top, bottom. The reality is that this machine will always have an energy loss. Still, first and second law of thermodynamics still rules the world, so no one defies laws of physics so far. So whenever you see a flywheel, free energy generator online, for sure it's a scam. You guys gotta aware, but don't send any money to anyone. Okay, folks, thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.